I do believe that I can do anything
Mhm.
and that it is just a matter of my character and my creativity.
Mhm.
So that it is a personal test of me. To simplify, there are 3 stages in your life. The first stage in your life is when you're learning and you're dependent on others. Go to school, come out, graduate from school. On the first part of the life, you pretty much follow a track. What schools, parents taking care of you, whatever it is, and then what decisions do you make? You hardly make any decisions. It's very different from the second phase of your life, where you're working, others are dependent on you, and you're trying to be successful. Go to the college, and what major do you have? And then you come out to this world, the second stage, in which really the whole thing is wide open to you. Somewhere in the vicinity of your last phase, that's the phase where you're free to live and free to die. And your preferences change. You change. Your relationships with others change. And so there's this cycle. So a certain type of personality wants a taste for adventure. You go out and have the adventure. And then there are the ups and downs, and then you crash. You will have a failure. If you're adventurous and you're pushing the limits, you will have a failure. And that failure can be a transformative experience. I have an expression that pain plus reflection equals progress. I think the tightrope walker crossing the building is the example, right?
Yes.
You fall and you fall hard. Now, some people won't get on the tightrope again. Some people will get on the tightrope again.
Yeah.
And then they think, how do I do that? So how do I be bold, aggressive, and I pull it off? And it's the same way, right? You start to think, well, maybe I do this or that differently, and I practice more. It's that combination of the caution and practice that allows you to take it to the limits that you never would have been able to take it to before. I thought that it's like there's a jungle out there. I want to have the greatest life possible, but in order to be successful, I have to cross this dangerous jungle. Now, I could stay on the one side of the jungle and have a boring, safe life, but unless I deal with the risks and return go together, and it's like going into this jungle. So what would I choose? Would I choose to go into the jungle and cross the jungle and have the greatest life possible, but I might get bad things might happen? And then I started to think, when I went into that jungle, of course I had to cross the jungle, but I started to realize how to cross the jungle, most importantly, with people who could see things differently than I could on the mission with me. And so, and we would protect each other in that jungle. And that's what it was like. So life is a lot like that. Who are you in the jungle with? And they might see things differently from you. And then you protect each other and you go through. And the thing that I discovered was that as I had these successes and failures, and much more successes than failures, I began to realize that I didn't care as much about the success as I cared about the journey. Okay? In other words, I didn't want to get out of the jungle. I didn't want to get to the other
Yes.
side. Studies of happiness. There's very little correlation between how much money you have and the level of happiness past the basic subsistence level. The element that there's the highest correlation with is an element of community, who you're with. So it's this meaningful work. Are you on a mission? And meaningful relationships through a life arc that evolves. So that's it. My definition of success is more like evolving well and contributing to evolution. We're not taught the value of failure. We're not taught, we're taught to be right, to be attached to our views of being right.
Yep.
You can't learn if you're attached to being right, because you think it's embarrassing because you don't know. So that notion of thoughtful disagreement, because if there's disagreement, somebody must be wrong, and how do you know that wrong person isn't you? These are the things that if you have thoughtful disagreement radical truthfulness, radical transparency. You build trust and effectiveness. I think the greatest tragedy of mankind is holding an opinion in your head that's wrong. And it's such a tragedy, meaning it's so easily fixed, that all you have to do is put it out there and stress test it and say, I might be wrong. And how do I stress test it? And by stress testing it, you raise your probabilities of being right. Whatever success I've had in life has had much more to do with my knowing how to deal with my not knowing than anything that I know. Because what I don't know is vastly greater. Think about all the experts that you can turn to and all the perspectives that you can get and how much you can learn by what's being out there. Where are you going? What for? What are you seeking to fulfill? What is it in you? The other thing that happens is, I think of the mind as being there are almost two yous in you. There is a conscious, logical you, and there's a subliminal, emotional you.
Yes. That
you don't understand. That was Freud's great discovery.
Yes.
That there is a part of your brain that is really controlling you, but because it's not conscious to you, you don't know it's there and it's controlling you. And the key, I think, is to align those things. The big choice in life, there are a lot of big choices in life, but is accomplishment versus savoring life. You know, savoring life is smell the roses. What a beautiful day. Or that moment, make sure you time with the people that you love and all of that. And then there's the other, which is accomplishment and impact. So there is those kinds of choices. You have to discover yourself. Well, where are you and how do you deal with those types of things? I think to be most effective is where they align. That's, I think, the key to make your work, your passion one and the same.